I'm gonna go with a drunken friend since I didn't mention drunken talks earlier.
Okay. Honestly, cards on the table. This isn't one that I found. This is a question that has to do with friendship that Nick Saban brought up when talking about Henry Ruggs. Do you know who Henry Ruggs is?
No.
He was a receiver for Alabama. He was drafted by the Raiders, and I'm just going to tell you this and tell you Nick Saban's speech instead of reading what I wrote.
Gotcha.
Drafted by the Raiders, showed a lot of promise, not as like a wide receiver one, but he was going to be a decent piece for a while. Until one night, got hammered and went 170 miles per hour down the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, this is the guy we talked about before. I remember that.
Maybe. Yeah, definitely. We probably talked about this whenever the question got brought up first. But he hit a car and he wasn't hurt, but he killed a woman and her dog, I believe. And now he's in prison for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Saban basically says, what kind of friend were you to allow him to grab his keys and walk out that door? So my question is, if your friend gets hammered and you clearly see it, and he grabs his keys, and you see all this, he grabs his keys, walks out the door, and then gets in a fatal crash, how much guilt should you have over that situation?
So I want to reference back to when we talked about this before, and I cannot name which episode it was because it was at the end of one of these episodes, and there is a point in which you are at fault, and there's that also the line in where you are not. Like, if I was there, if I was that friend, if I was, maybe the DD or something, I don't know. And I saw him grab his keys to start to head out the door. I'm like, where you going? It's like, I'm heading home or doing whatever, wherever the fuck. I'm not letting you do that.
No.
I don't think I've had to stop friends from driving like that before. But I'm not going to let you do that. But there's a point in which this is your shit. If you want to end your shit, you can. I can't stop you past telling you no and, trying to stop you.
Right.
So after you get to that point and that person continues to, go drive off, I've done all I can. I mean, the next best thing is to call the cops and say, hey, there's this guy drunk driving. Right. He's heading this direction, probably going here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most you can do. I don't know if anybody would ever do that in most cases and, in the heat of the moment, but that's the next best thing. I don't think I would feel guilt if I had done that and they had still gone out and killed somebody. I mean, I tried to stop them.
My lady has a very strict rule, and that is if you show up here to a party and we have alcohol, we have a bucket for you to put your keys into. And she will put it where she only knows where it is. And when someone wants to leave, she's going to go grab the bucket. And if she deems you too drunk to leave, you're going to sleep over here. She's not, you're not moving.
Yeah.
I believe she runs that test before she goes and gets that bucket. And in every scenario, when we say that, because I say you take on a little bit of that guilt. Because now that person is probably going to prison for the rest of their life. Someone lost a family member. Someone lost a friend. A lot of bad shit happened. Does that at all take away the responsibility of the action that person... Does it take responsibility from them? No. No, they're serving that prison sentence and they absolutely deserve it.
Yep.
But if you have the opportunity to do something, especially if you're friends with them, doesn't even have to be a man, equal opportunity drinking and driving. I feel like you should step in. And you said do everything you can. I would try my best not to physically assault them if they're really.
That's what I'm saying.
If they're really, pushing at me and no, I want to make this night better. I want to make chicken. God damn it. Yeah. I might put them in that sleeper hold. You know what I mean? No, I wouldn't do that. But a lot of people I see around topics like this is like, well, it's not my responsibility.
You have some power over the decision making of your friend if your friend is the one going to do these things. You have some power over the decision making. I'm not saying you have complete control because how would you? But
yeah,
like you have at least a little bit of power to sway their decision to, hey, let's actually not drive.
I will say, how close of a friend do you think there is a level of friend where it's inappropriate to put your foot in that situation? Like, if you are a close friend, it's your duty to do it. If you're a good friend, I feel like you should step in. If you're a friend, I feel like you should step in. But if it's like, I know the guy, we've had some good times, we've hung out in a group. Do you think that you're seeing this happen, and does that change anything?
I don't know. I got to think about how I would respond to like situations like that, because like in every like group scenario that like me and my friends have gone drinking, we've always had some sort of fallback on, if we get too drunk, we'll just sleep here, like situation. Yeah. So I don't know if like about anybody that hasn't had the ability to do that, because anybody we're going to drink with is probably cool enough with us to spend the night on the couch or something.
Yeah.
But as far as stopping, I think the bar like really stops at like acquaintance.
Okay.
Like, I know the guy, we're cool, but he's not like somebody I talk to every day. He's like maybe like a coworker at work I'm a little more friendly with. Like I don't pass like complete fucking stranger, because I don't I'm not going to be paying attention to strangers as much as I am talking and hanging out with friends, right, that are drinking with me. So I'd say acquaintances, because those are probably the closest people that I would be out drinking with or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think at that point, like once you're at like acquaintances, maybe you probably should be like, hey man, like don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, I feel like at that point it'd be your job to, like, if you know the friend group, go get the dudes, Yeah. Go get the guy who's closer to him. Yeah. Because honestly, if you walk up and you're nothing but acquaintances or, one of the members of the friend group, mm-hmm, dude might just run over you. and then people might think you're the weird one because you're like, why are you shoving your nose in his business? You know what I mean? Yeah. And they'd be like, he was grabbing his keys. Anyways.
Yeah, at acquaintances, there's like a point in which you're like, you probably shouldn't, you don't know this guy well enough to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Given the chances, but after that, you're just like, hey, like, is he like leaving or is he just moving his keys?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's more responsible than doing absolutely nothing.